Good day, folks. Welcome to Mod 3 of our Next Gen Marketing Series with CompTIA. My name is Al Phillips, and I am with Plan 27 Marketing. If you're just joining us today for the first one, I encourage you at the end of today's webinar that you go back around and you download Mod 1 and Mod 2 from the CompTIA site. As well, if you've been with us for Mod 1 and Mod 2, I also encourage you to go back and have a look at it as also. Um, Mod 1, I sort of had some comments where was, not really as many actionable items in Module 1, maybe a little bit more boring. But, it really comes down to knowing who your customer is and, the attributes that drive them, all right? What are they worth to us? All right, and if when I do get in front of them, what do I want to say to them? These are all really important factors. When I look at it, Mod 1 is actually probably the most important of the three modules because by really knowing who our customer is and knowing how they react and the best way to get in front of them, all of our decision making all leads back to what does our prospect, where is our prospect, what do they want to hear, and what do they want to hear from me? Mod 2, we talked about, okay, sort of all the different mediums that are available to us, the different mediums, the different tools, marketing tools to get us in front of said target prospect. Talked a little bit about, a little bit more about the conventional stuff, about some outdoor and some radio. This particular one in Mod 3, we're going to talk full digital, okay, and we're going to build. We're going to build a digital marketing loop for you so you can see how all the different mediums are working together. I'm hoping that today this sort of all comes together as a bit of a culmination for you all and a little bit of a eureka moment where you sort of walk away, okay, all right, I get it. All right, we can do this. Let's start to build this. All right. So here's a statement. We'll try it for a few months and see how it goes. All right. If you've said those words, you're very likely struggling with your marketing and making it work. What we hear all the time is, why doesn't marketing work for me? My referrals have dried up. Now what? Okay, how do I get more referrals? Because that's the easiest. Those are the easiest and the best leads that we get to close. All right. The answer is brand equity, brand and market equity. All right. So the textbook sort of definition is, the commercial value that derives from consumer perception of the brand name of a particular product or service rather than from the product or service itself. Okay? But the simplified version for the MSP and for IT service providers, what do you mean? What is brand equity? Brand equity is simply the know, like, and trust factor. Your prospects need to know you, like you, and trust you before they do business with you. I've been harping on that in Mod 1 and again in Mod 2, and now I'm going at it again here in Mod 3, and I hope that it's really going to sort of come together. And by the end of this series, all you guys are going to be saying is know, like, and trust, and what's the know, like, and trust factor, and do we have it, and are we building it? Okay, and I hope you are, because if you are, then you get it, and all roads lead back to who is my customer. And am I building the know, like, and trust factor with them? So when we're making decisions in our marketing plans, are we accomplishing those two objectives? So what does that actually look like? Brand equity. So, when you're looking at a market, you need to sort of pick a metric. I'm using impressions as a metric. So impressions, how many times somebody in your market is coming in contact and consuming your marketing, okay, seeing your brand, seeing your message. And we'll use impressions to measure this. So I've got two plans here up on the screen, okay? The first plan, our blue line, okay, is an MSP who, okay, they took, actually both plans, they've taken a $2,500 a month budget, all right? We're going to assume for a $2,000 setup fee. Most marketing and advertising campaigns there's some setup, whether you're creating ads or you're doing research or whatever that may be. There's always a little bit of setup involved. So let's throw that in there. When we look at this over the course of the year, okay, and then we work it backwards at cost, we're paying over double, okay, our cost per impression on that bottom line. By sputtering, by turning on and then turning off, we're actually costing ourselves more money. All right. So On the plan B there, our orange line, we're turning it on. We're doing our setup. Let's call it in December, okay, before this has started. So we're doing our setup, all right? We're running for 3 months and we're shutting it off. Once you shut that off, you go to zero. Okay, all that $10,000 that you've just spent on that advertising or marketing objective for the first quarter of that year is gone. That money is completely wasted. So you go on five months and finally realize, okay, I still don't have any referrals. My business still isn't scaling. I have to market. Then you try it again. Well, so you try it again in September. You're right back to where you were in January. You haven't made any progress at all. So all that time is wasted. Okay. And again, that $10,000 you spent wasted. It's gone. Why not build on that? So we look at our blue line and we look at our impressions. Look at where they are by the end of the year. Now this is year one. Both of these campaigns are from a dead stop. Now picture this into year two. Year two, it starts to get really good. Okay. And the leads and the action and the triggers in your funnel get stronger and stronger. In module 2, I talked a little bit about sort of the intricate sales cycle that is MSP and internet service providers. You guys could be looking at a 3-month sales cycle to a 1.5-year sales cycle. All right. So you need to make sure that you stay with these people. To just abandon it and just to shut it off and get frustrated because they didn't close quickly enough, it's unrealistic. Your small to medium-sized business people, especially when they're looking at outsourcing at their electronic infrastructure of their business to an outside company, that's a huge sale. Talk about know, like, and trust. They certainly better know you, but certainly better like you and trust you before they're going to outsource that to you. And they're not going to make that decision overnight. It's not a Netflix subscription. This is a heavy-duty sale. So the top line, obviously the blue line, is the way we want to go. And this is where I talked about, and again, I'm going to go back to module 2. I said that your marketing cost and your marketing and your advertising needs to be an immovable object, an immovable line item on your business plan. The same as where you're making payroll, you're paying your rent, you're paying your hydro, you're paying your marketing. If you don't feed your business, it will not grow. All right. So now let's get to the good stuff. Let's build our stack. Let's build our electronic stack. I am going to suggest this. If you guys would like to, now I know that most of you want to start to build your own marketing plans and whatnot. Ahead of building this particular stack, I highly recommend, actually you're going to have to, it will be a prerequisite to you building the stack on your own, will be to go and get yourself Google certified. You can find the courses online, they're free. But you need to really, there's a lot of levers and there's a lot of sort of inner workings behind the scenes in Google. And to set up a campaign like I'm going to show you here today, you really need to be on top of it and you need to understand how to work it. And it's a little bit more work, but if you prefer to do it on your own, that's how you're going to need to do it. To just call up Google and start trying to do this without getting certified and without going through those courses, literally you're going to just pull your hair out and want to scream. Bit of a heads up for you there. So I talked about when we go back to our, when I looked at sort of our loop, okay, we're going to, 4 steps. We want to engage, we want to nurture, we want to connect, we want to convert. Okay, and then we're going to sell, rinse, repeat, and it just keeps on going. It's a loop. It's a machine. It's an engine. It's not a funnel. People have sales funnels have been talking about that for years, right? But I like to think of it. Your marketing is your engine, and your marketing is it's feeding, I guess, feeding your funnels, feeding your salespeople. But it's something. It's a living, breathing, moving thing in your business. It's the engine that's driving your business. So engage. Okay. SEO, okay, I look at building a website, it's like building a car, okay? You built the website, you built the car. SEO is turning the car on, okay? And SEM, search engine marketing, is putting the car in drive. If you don't do any SEO and you don't do any SEM, basically your website is just adrift. It's just at that point it's an electronic shingle that, for your business that's basically out there and no one can really find it. Okay, if they looked hard enough, there's going to be some indexing and whatnot that through attrition is eventually going to get picked up by the search engines, but it's not going to put you anywhere near. It's going to put you back on the 9th and 10th pages. which doesn't do anybody any good. Nobody goes back there. So you need, with SEO, you need, when people are looking for you, you need to be found. All right. Everything with the search engines as well, and you start talking about PPCs and all this other, all these other electronic assets with Google. Google uses what's called a second price auction. Okay, and so it's Google is the largest auction in the world. Okay, so every time you search something, if I jump on Google and I search IT support, boom, that goes to an auction. Okay, so now all the people that are listed with IT support as their keyword are now bidding to get that. Okay, but it's not the highest bidder. All right, that's not how it works. You can't just go in there and he who with the biggest wallet just blows everyone over. They use what's called a second price auction. Okay, but they run an algorithm and they change up periodically how that exactly works. But they use an equation between how they deem your quality score on Google and your bid amount, and that places where you are with your PPCs. Your quality score and your user experience, okay, dictates where you are in your SEO and your organic. So you can't just throw money at it and hope to get there. There's a bit of a method to the madness, all right? And you have to, it's a bit of a juggling act. There's a little bit of manipulation with Google as well as some, for your own, whatever your own targets and objectives are, and your direct leads. Like sometimes people will see, you're building link backs or citations with SEO, and people will see, well, yeah, but you have like link backs and stuff overseas and in Australia, but we're dealing in North America. Well, sometimes that's a little bit of a Google manipulation with SEO, just in order to increase that quality score and that user experience, and it creates relevancy for Google. All of this stuff comes into play and supports your PPCs. We've had customers, clients come to us, and we had a client come to us last year, and they gave their marketing company an unlimited budget and said, here it is. I don't care anybody in my market who's searching IT support. I want to be number one. Go get them. And I will pay whatever the going rate is for that keyword. Just go. You have an unlimited budget. The company couldn't spend it. And he came to us scratching his head. He goes, I don't understand. He says, I gave this guy a blank check and he literally couldn't spend it. They couldn't spend it because he had a poor quality score. If you have a poor quality score, Google don't want you and they're not going to rank you. You're not going to get it. You will be irrelevant. All right. And they're just going to push you back onto page 6, page 7. So our targeted PPC to support, okay, this is our engagement. So this is our intent marketing, people who are coming and looking for us. All right, and we want to zero and dial right in on that targeted PPC. We want to get so specific with this, and we can get so specific with this, where we're actually going to give Google a list of IP addresses of all of the target SMBs in our market that we want to go after. We'll give them a list of like 10,000 target clients based on IP address. And if somebody searches IT support in our market, okay, if their IP address isn't on our list, then we don't even get involved in that auction. We don't even want to spend the money. Okay, why would we waste money? We don't want high school kids. We don't want fathers at home searching to fix their daughter's laptops. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not our core business. We're going after MSP clients. We're going after very specific SMBs who are looking for managed IT services. All right, full stop. And we only want to pay for that. So when we're doing a pay-per-click, get into a market like Manhattan, average cost of a click, every time someone clicks on your ad, it's $60. $60 a rattle. I don't want to be paying for people that don't come in. I don't want to cast that large net. Okay, if I'm in a very direct market, I want to go after SMBs in my market. That's it. That's all I want to pay for. So this is our targeted PPCs. We want to start, like I said, we're going to have a list that's so specific. IP address. And if your IP address is not on our list, we don't get involved in that auction. We don't get involved in that bid, and we don't spend our PPC money. It's all about value. I'm going to jump back here for a second. Looking back at our brand equity. Okay, so now when we start talking about if we have a list, a targeted PPC list of IP address, and that's what we're going after in our market, when I look at a metric like brand impressions, If I'm casting a large net and I'm using broad search parameters around my PPCs, okay, that kind of stuff, and I'm casting that large, that means I'm paying for all the high school kids and the fathers and all these other people who are not our target audience. So when I look at a metric, at a measurement metric, such as brand impressions here at just under 180,000 on the year, well, what percentage of that is actually my target audience? Well, when we're doing targeted PPCs and we're looking at total brand impressions, I know that 100% of those impressions are is our target audience because we gave Google the parameters that these are only the ones that we want to bid on. Now we've got some real value there, okay? Real value. So now we've engaged. Now we want to move to nurture. Okay, so now, okay, let's go to let's use $60. Let's say I've paid $60 for a click. Okay, for somebody searching IT services or IT support. Okay, I don't want to just abandon them and let them go. I want to keep them. I've now brought them into my loop. So now if they've visited our website with SEO, or they've visited one of our landing pages through our targeted PPC, when they've come and they've visited one of our properties, we drop a remarketing cookie on their machine, on their computer. So now that we can follow them and we can stay with them. We've paid the money to get them to click our ad. We've paid the money to have them, come to us through organic search. We want to make sure that we stay with them, okay? So that's our remarketing. We want to follow them with remarketing ads to stay top of mind. Remember, our intricate sales cycle could be 3 months to a year and a half, okay? They're not going to be ready to act just yet. But when they are ready to act, maybe this was their first search. They've just started their research. We got to stay with them. We also want to use social media. Social media is really going to start to give your brand some personality. And again, this goes back to our know, like, and trust, right? What are we saying to them? And we want to align ourselves with the conversation. We want to speak with them, not at them. Biggest mistake I see with people with social media, they just jump on, they just start carpet bombing, and they're posting once and twice a day. All you're doing is plugging people's feeds up, and they're just going to turn you off. They don't, first of all, they don't want it, every day. And secondly, how you're going to run out of runway. Like, how are you going to keep coming up with content and valuable, good posts, once, twice a day? It's just, it isn't sustainable. If you make them want it and you just have some really good high value posts, and you do it at tops bi-monthly, okay? It gets people to actually looking forward to it, right? Have a good quality content strategy. And this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. You don't need to, like I said, please do not carpet bomb these people. They're just going to shut you off. They won't necessarily unfollow you, or they won't unlike you, but they can unfollow your feed. Okay, so you won't even see it. Moving along, connect. So now they've searched us out. Okay, they visited our assets. Okay, we've stayed with them with remarketing. We've built some personality with our social media. Every person that's come to our site and we've dropped a cookie on their machine for remarketing. Okay, we've now started building that as a secondary list online, which is called our remarketing list. Okay, so now let's say 8 months down the road. Okay, this person visited our website 8 months ago. Okay, we followed them with remarketing. Now we see that somebody on that remarketing list, okay, they've jumped on, they've searched one of our keywords again. Now they've searched managed services, your market kind of thing. So now they've searched one of our other keywords. But we already have them. So now they came to us as a targeted PPC from their IP address. So we know it's an SMB in our market. We followed them with remarketing for the last 8 months, and now they've searched one of our keywords again. So our remarketing list search ads. So now we know they're continuing their research and they're looking again. So now we want to go hard at that auction. We want to jump in there and we want to escalate our offer. Okay, we want to offer them a free technology assessment, how technology can grow their business, a cloud assessment, throw an infrastructure as a service kind of offer at them, move them into the next millennia, Okay, get them excited, something that's really going to drive them to close, that's going to prompt them to pick up the phone, jump on the live chat, or fill out your lead submission. Okay, which leads me to conversion. Make it easy for people to do business with you. All right, so we've done all this stuff. We built the stack. We built this loop. Okay, they've come back around to us. They come back around to us. We using it with the RLSA. Okay, we've escalated the offer. Now they've converted. Now they want to act. Have live chat on there. Make it easy for them just to reach out. And I'm not talking like a widget that sits in the background where you can leave a message. I mean live chat. I mean a live chat operator who's going to pop up and say, "Welcome to ABC IT Company. How can I help you today?" We find a huge percentage. It's about 85% more engagement from when we prompt. We offer live chat as a service, by the way, and that's why that's where I'm getting these metrics from. But 85% of live chat engagement is from us popping up and saying hello. You'd be amazed. You say hello to somebody, they're going to say hello back. They won't just ignore it. How can I help you today? You know. And I don't like using Walmart as an example, but it's true. It's like the Walmart greeter, or it's like a better metaphor would be the trade show. A trade show booth. If you were at a local business function and you had a trade show booth set up, would you just set up your booth in the corner and then go down the street to the bar? No, you would and leave it unmanned? Not a chance. Not a chance. You would have somebody standing in that booth to answer questions as people are walking up. It's the same thing as your website. Your website is just your electronic storefront. 800 numbers. So I talked about our targeted PPC. Okay, so SEO, we're going to be driving back to you will be driving back to your website. Your PPCs, you want to be driving to landing pages with different offers and all this good stuff. But you need to be able to measure this. Okay, so you want to use a measurable 800 number that you simply forward to your regular landline. So you don't actually see it yourself. It's not like you have a bank of 10 or 15 different phones you have to answer. But you can jump online and you can see which number they're coming in through. You can now effectively manage your traffic and how they're finding you. You will have some lead submission contacts there as well. Some people that just want, sure, someone give me a call, or sure, sign me up for a cloud assessment, or whatever that offering may be. Okay, we find it's 33%, 33%, 33%. But again, the easier it is to connect with you, the better. And if you have a potential prospect standing in front of you, okay, whether they're on their computer sitting on your website or whether they're standing at your front door. If they were standing at your front door, you'd certainly want to be running out there and saying hello and introducing yourself, wouldn't you? Well, you certainly want to be doing that with your website and your landing pages as well. Why not go say hello? It's as simple as that. So sell, rinse, repeat. See some people trying sort of using the approach of sort of set it and forget it, and then it starts tailing off, and they wonder, what's going on, and I'm going to back up a little bit. In the beginning, earlier on in my presentation here, I mentioned, we will try it for a few months and see how it goes. Okay, we do testing and marketing. Okay, but you don't test mediums. All right. So when we know our customer from Module 1, okay, we're building our marketing loop and our marketing engine, okay, in Module 2. We've built that engine. We've built this, looking at this digital engine here with our Engage, Nurture, Connect, and Convert. We've built this engine because we know who our customer is, and we know that our targeted PPC, our remarketing, and our RLSAs is the best way to get in front of our clients. So then when we go back and we look, okay, well, he generated 180,000 impressions last year of standing in front, 180,000 times we had our prospects standing looking at our marketing and consuming it. Okay, but now we wonder, okay, well, why didn't they convert? It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the media, because we know that they're there. We can see it, we can measure it. but they're not converting. It's got to be something wrong with what we're saying. It's got to be something wrong with our creative. So when we're testing things, we're testing creatives, we're testing messages, offerings. These are the things we test in marketing because we've taken a proactive approach to build our plan based on our target audience. We know that that is good. We have some faith in your decisions. Okay. Um, and you don't want to set it and forget it because what's working now, you might be running something for 2-3 months, okay, and that starts to wear down a little bit, and maybe you want to update it. Maybe you've been running it for a year, getting good traction, but you're starting to see it trend down a little bit and not as much action, or you want to update it with something a little bit newer, like a digital transformation as compared to free network assessments that you were offering last year. How do we move into this new cloud computing, and how do we get people to really, start biting on that? That's the evolution of your message. That's the evolution of your audience. Okay, and you need to stay on top of it, and you cannot set it and forget it. You need to manage it. So once you have this in place, you have your metrics, manage it. All right. Return on investment. So you guys are you're gonna get a recording of this webinar as well, so you can actually freeze the screen. But briefly, just gonna go through this with you, and just so you guys understand how it works with regard to marketing. All right. So let's figure we're making $1,500 a month per new client. Okay. Um, we are setting a marketing budget. So in mod 2, I said, okay, we want to go about 10% of our gross. So let's figure on a $3,000 a month marketing budget. So let's say now our target is we want to get one new client a month. All right. So now we built up some brand equity. Okay, we have a good presence in the market now. Let's hit the ground running. Let's start our marketing plan here. We sign a new client in January, and we're spending $3,000 a month on marketing. So our new revenue minus our cost of marketing times 100 divided by cost of marketing is going to give us our percentage, our ROI percentage. We look at that in month 1. It's pretty bad at negative 50%. Okay. But in February, we still have that client that we signed in January. Okay, so our revenue is cumulative. So now our revenue is jumping to $3,000. Okay, and then again, it's cumulative again into March and so on throughout the year. So when we calculate our ROI at the end of the year, we're 225%. It's fantastic. That's a great number. Um, your accountant will love you. Everybody will love you. Your business partners will love you. That is a goal. So it's a cumulative figure. Okay, so you need to be looking at it. And I've been harping as well, but that sort of, I think, was more mod 2 about taking that 10,000 foot view. Look at this 10,000 foot view when you start talking about calculating ROI. It's a cumulative figure. It's not right there in front of you. We got to get the blinders off. It's not month specific. It's what is it over the year, over the campaign. All right. So I threw this slide in here just because I want. So we know who our customer is. We've built our plan. We've executed our plan. We have our measurements in process. We know how our plan is performing. Okay. When we start getting out there to our vendors and we're requesting MDF funding, the people who you're dealing with, the salespeople, the marketing people for your vendors, okay, they want to give you all the MDF funding in the world, guaranteed. They want to give you as much as they can. They want to make you happy, but they need to get approval from their finance people before they can just say, sure, go ahead, you qualify for this much MDF, or you qualify for this much, go ahead. You need to be able to talk their talk. When you have your plan in place, so now you talk about your remarkable offering. Okay, let's say you're going after and you're going hard after doing cloud assessments, and you're going hard to sell infrastructure as a service. I'd be going back to your cloud vendor and saying, okay, here's my plan. Okay, here's my marketing materials. This is what I'm selling. I'm planning on running this offer for the next 6 months. Okay, here's my measurements in place, and you can literally start reporting back to them. Offer to report back to them on a monthly basis and say, this is how the program is performing. These are your dollars in action. This is what we're doing. Here's my penetration. Oh, and I got a new client last month, and I've got 2 new ones in the hopper for this month. Things are going really well. By you having that open dialogue and just keeping them in the loop and just sharing your numbers on your success, It's going to put you in a good position to be able to lock up long-term MDFs and not just a quick one-off check that they're going to sort of, throw your way in order to get you to sign the contract. All right. So that brings our next gen marketing series to a close. But I just want to leave you with one sort of summary thought, and that is that, you know, everyone in your company plays a role in marketing, no matter who you are. Your techies on the front line, okay? These are the people that are standing in front of your customer, okay, when they're having troubles with their computer, when they're restarting a server or whatever it is they might be doing. They become the face of your brand. Okay, so let's talk about restarting a server. Okay, maybe they're having troubles with this thing. Maybe they're a customer that need to be moved to the cloud. Educate your techies on what they need to do to maybe upsell and to keep the customers moving and keep them moving in the right direction. Who's answering your phone? I'm talking about landing pages. We're talking about 800 numbers and offerings. All right. you know, how are they answering that phone? Is it hello? Educate them. Be nice, engaging. What can I help you with today? Sort of move. You're generating leads. If 33% of these leads that you're generating in your marketing campaign are coming in by phone, guess what? You need to be the people answering the phone have to be educated and have to know what you're selling, what the specifics of the offering, and what they're to do should they be prompted and asked about a cloud assessment that they saw in one of their ads or whatever. And they should be prompted and scripted and know the question to ask and how to explain. But just understand that this isn't just you going it alone. This is you guys as a team. This is your entire company and all the people who work for you. And everybody plays a part and plays a role in marketing. And just make sure that everybody understands that and everybody understands their role and where they fit in to your overall loop. So I think we're going to open it up here now to a few questions. And so thanks again, everyone. And I will now hand it back to you, Lisa. Thanks very much.